everyone, I've got to talk about this James Gunn situation. First, I'd like to say I like James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy movies. So I do enjoy his work, but I can separate the work from the person, so I don't have a bias for or against him. I'm a free speech absolutist, and I firmly believe that everyone should have the right to say what they want and not suffer any legal consequences. And I would go so far as to say nobody should be fired for what they said. However, Disney has the right to fire him, and I support their decision. Now, I know some of you are going to say that I am being inconsistent, contradictory, and hypocritical. They will say, how can you say that Gunn should not have been fired for what he said, and at the same time say you support Disney for their decision? One, there is a massive difference between what someone says and what they do. I believe that if someone is fired, it should be for what they do and not what they say. And I believe that Gunn has a pattern of behavior and that there are things that he did that justifies Disney's firing of him, and I'll get to that. Two, I believe that Disney has to be consistent, and in Gunn's firing they were, and I'll get to that as well. Three, I believe that it is the ones who support Gunn and think he should be rehired who are the true hypocrites. And when I say this, I don't mean that all who support him are hypocrites, and again, I'll get into why. As far as Gunn's pattern of behavior goes, we have to get into his past. He started making trauma films, and people who know trauma know that they have very strange and out there movies that many people would find offensive. Their most popular movies being the Toxic Avenger movies, and knowing this, his controversial pedophile tweets are not that surprising now. However, what is surprising is how numerous they are. Apparently there were about 20 or so tweets about pedophilia, but he ended up deleting thousands of posts. Then more and more things turned up about Gunn. For one, he was friends with a convicted sex offender, Hudson Huddleston, who was caught with child pornography. Now, this doesn't mean that Gunn himself is a sex offender. However, Huddleston posted a video with a child pornographic title on Gunn's very own website, and Gunn accepted it and actually liked it. Then there were pictures that were revealed of Gunn, who was at a To Catch a Predator pedophile-themed party. Now, this is not illegal, but it's not normal behavior. Then he made a video series called PG Porn, which was also very strange.
I was actually just talking about one of those kittens.
Go for it.
Thanks. I cannot wait to fuck this thing.
What?
Then there was a behind-the-scenes video of Gunn and his then-wife, Jenna Fischer's movie, Lolly Love.
My request is that you not reference any fucking in the ass, especially of me, because my parents wouldn't like it.
Really?
Yeah.
What about our home videos?
That's funny.
Why don't they like it?
Would you like it?
Okay, let's do it.
Camera's rolling.
Let's see how funny it is when your daughter says it.
I should be broken in by me already.
So Gunn says he would have anal sex with his daughter? Now, I wonder why Jenna Fischer divorced him. So my point is that it's not just some tweets. This is not just things he had said. This is actions he has done. This is a pattern of bizarre behavior. Pedophilia, even if it's just joking about it, seems to be constantly on his mind. And it was not just a one-time thing. And it's much more than just some tasteless jokes. He actually engaged in pedophilia-themed dress parties and pedophilia-titled videos on his own website. Again, none of this is a crime, apparently, but there is definitely fireable behavior in my opinion, and clearly Disney believed this as well. And the reason why I say Disney has to be consistent is because they fired Roseanne for tweets some people found offensive. So if they fired her, they have to fire Gunn, otherwise they are not being consistent. And if they aren't consistent, it makes them look discriminatory. And if they rehire Gunn, which I don't think they will, then they must rehire Roseanne, or else again, they will look discriminatory. This is why I support Disney in this case, because although I don't think people should be fired for what they say, at the very least, Disney is consistent. Then comes the hypocrisy of all of this. Most people who support Gunn are doing so for political reasons. Not all, but most. Before Gunn was even hired at Disney, feminists came after Gunn for his jokes they claimed were sexist and homophobic. But now, even in this Me Too movement, they support Gunn's pedophilia jokes. Why? Because Gunn is now on their side politically. Some of Gunn's supporters say that his tweets were 10 years old, and he apologized for them long time ago. If he apologized for them, why didn't he delete them until now? By the way, Trump apologized for his comments he made on the Access Hollywood tapes 10 years ago. How many of these same Gunn supporters will forgive Trump for his comments? Then, of course, is the comparison to Roseanne and her controversial tweets. Many who support Gunn and forgive his controversial tweets will never forgive Roseanne and her tweets. First, Roseanne's tweets were not racial at all, and anybody who was offended by them are faking their outrage. Let's read Roseanne's tweet. Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby, it would equal VJ, or Valerie Jarrett. Planet of the Apes is the half of that tweet that people are upset about. Planet of the Apes is a movie franchise where people are dressed in makeup to look like evolved apes, and most of those actors are white. And Valerie Jarrett is an Iranian woman who identifies as black for some reason, even though her DNA test proves that she is majority white. She was on a show by PBS called Finding Your Roots, where she took a DNA test. And yes, she does have a minority of African DNA.
The suspense is killing me.
We discovered a clue in a letter that Robert wrote describing his father's ancestry. In the letter, Robert claimed that his father's father was a man named Angus Taylor. When we searched for Angus Taylor in the census records, we discovered that Angus Taylor was a white man.
But be honest with yourself. At first glance, without knowing that she identifies as a black woman, would you think that she was black? So it's easily understandable that she can be mistaken for white, especially since she is majority white. And why would Roseanne intentionally make a racist comment on a public forum like Twitter? It doesn't make any sense for her to do that. So at worst, her comments were unintentionally offensive. Gunn, on the other hand, had admittedly intentionally made his comments offensive. Gunn admits to being a provocateur. He is someone who purposely provokes people. The cast of Guardians of the Galaxy have come out to defend Gunn. However, one cast member, Dave Bautista, has been particularly vile to his fans. In a recent tweet regarding Gunn's firing, Bautista said to his fans, "Man, you guys are really reaching. So desperate. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you to go F yourself before I block you, so go F yourself." Of course, I had to censor that, but you know what he said. Yeah, real nice way to speak to your fans, Dave Bautista. And as I said before, most, not all, but most of the people who defend Gunn are not fighting for free speech. If they were, they wouldn't have came after Gunn in the past for his tweets, which they claimed to be sexist and homophobic. If they were fighting for free speech, they would have defended Roseanne. If they say he should have been forgiven for his tweets, which were 10 years ago, they would have also forgiven Trump for what he said a decade ago and he apologized for. They don't give a damn about free speech or forgiveness. This is all political for them. If a Republican has said the things that Gunn did, these people would be harassing them in the streets. Here's a clip of SJW regressive movie critic Bob Chipman, known as Movie Bob, regarding the hashtag rehire James Gunn. And in this clip, he admits that the hashtag has nothing to do with rehiring James Gunn, but is to push the left's political agenda.
The main reason to be for the rehiring of James Gunn, or at least Disney not capitulating on this bullshit, is as resistance to this kind of, these guys are basically Nazis. Is what this comes down to. These alt-right people. That's what it all comes down to. If you scratch the surface of what they're at, whatever they say they're at, you always find, some white supremacist, right-wing, super Republican, Trumper bullshit underneath it. And denying those people a win in any way, shape, or form possible should really, in my opinion, if you're a decent person, just stopping those people from having any kind of forward progress in anything they want should always be like the most paramount thing in any given situation. If they want something, you should be against it happening in just about any situation. That's where I'm at.
So you heard it from Bob. This is all political. If you dare dislike pedophile jokes, pedophile-themed parties, pedophile-titled videos, and think Disney had every right to fire Gunn over this, you are not a decent person, you are on the alt-right, and you are a Nazi. You would think that finding pedophilia jokes and similar behavior inappropriate and being able to voice your concerns to Disney would not be a partisan issue, but they made it a partisan issue. We are the bad guys because we dislike pedophile jokes and want to voice our concerns. I believe that this is just another attempt to shut down conservative voices. Bottom line, if you support Gunn and didn't support Roseanne, you are a hypocrite. And those who have hashtag rehire James Gunn in your Twitter name, you are making a fool of yourself because it's not going to happen. This was Alpha Eagle and I Gotta Fly. So subscribe, share, like, comment, and God bless America.